is the composition of the collar device. Talk to the veterans of the African and Sicilian invasions. Talk to the paratroopers who led the Allied armies into France. Many of them can tell you on instances when their own weapons were out of service or unavailable, and in order to get themselves out of a tight spot, enemy weapons were found and put to good use. This is a common thing and happens many times. So along with the 1,000,001 things the Allied soldier has to learn, there must be added at least a brief glance at the 7 basic infantry weapons of the Germans. The first of 2 machine guns to be reviewed in this film is the MG-34. MG stands for Maschinengewehre, or machine gun. All types of German units are equipped with this flexible, all-purpose gun, which is not comparable with any US or British weapon. Seen here is the bipod mount, but it can also be used as a heavy machine gun on a special tripod with elaborate sights, or on an anti-aircraft mount. Ammunition, 7.92 millimeter or 31 caliber, the same as that used in the infantry carbine 38. The rate of fire is from 800 to 900 rounds per minute. This belt holds 50 rounds and may be connected with another, or in a series of 7. Made of non-disintegrating metallic links, it can be refilled many times. The belt feed is still only one of several feed systems with adapters found in use with this gun. Standard sight for use with the bipod mount is the vertical leaf sight with open V-notch. Graduations are from 219 to 2,187 yards. Safety, the small lever on the left-hand side just over the trigger. Remember that when F is exposed, the gun is in the position to fire. When the S is visible, it means that the weapon is on safety. F for fire, S for safety. Even with the feed cover down, this gun can be loaded conveniently. But in order to further examine the feed system, let us load with the cover raised. You push forward on the cover latch, here on the rear of the cover plate. We see that this gun is left-hand feed. You may also find them with right-hand feed. Allowing 2 empty links as tabs to hold the belt in place, set the first cartridge against the left side of the cartridge holding claws. Close the cover securely. Cock the gun by drawing back on the charging handle, back as far as it will go. Now always remember to return the charging handle to its forward position. Unless this is done, you are in danger of injury to a hand and wrist when the bolt drives forward to engage the first cartridge. Check the safety catch to see if you are ready to fire. The F for fire is revealed. The gun is ready for use. Here is the double trigger. The top trigger is for the single shots, sometimes used to simulate a lone rifle. The lower position is for full automatic firing. After firing from 250 to 300 rounds, a new barrel is installed by a very simple device. The gun is cocked, set on safety. The receiver catch on the left, just below the rear sight, is freed, and the receiver is given a sharp turn anti-clockwise. Now the hot barrel will slide out, and a new one can replace it. Though ingenious in design and normally efficient in operation, German machine guns are not foolproof. They are subject to all the malfunctions usually met with automatic weapons of any nation. Some experience of failure to fire, or stoppages of various origins, plus a natural curiosity in the mechanical field, should reveal in a short time the most common weaknesses of German weapons. Over 1,000 rounds per minute. That's a very high rate of fire. But in this late model machine gun, the 42, the German army have sacrificed a certain amount of accuracy. Intelligence reports have for some time indicated a gradual replacement of the MG-34 by the 42. This has since been confirmed. The later weapon is characterized by the pressed steel jacket. Extensive use of stamped and pressed metal, giving the receiver and barrel jacket a more rectangular appearance. The sight is different from the 34. It slides on a ramp. The charging handle is larger and grooved to fit the hand. The device for replacing the barrel has been changed. Note the handle on the right side and the improved methods of effecting this operation. The special trigger for single shot or semi-automatic fire is absent in the 42. Lastly, a bolt action that has been designed to give a higher rate of fire. Here is a German weapon that should give a good account of itself in Allied hands. It is so similar to the U.S. Army 81mm mortar that anyone familiar with that weapon could, after a little practice, put the German weapon to effective use. A muzzle loader with a firing pin at the breech end of the tube. It weighs 125 pounds, throws a 7 3/4 pound shell effectively at from 425 to 1,300 yards. For a short period of firing rate of 6 rounds in 8 or 9 seconds can be maintained. For handling and transporting, it is broken down into 3 parts: base plate, the tube, and the bipod, with transversing, elevating, and cross-leveling mechanisms. Preparing the mortar for action: set the base plate on the ground, put the ball-shaped end of the tube into the base plate socket. Turn the tube in the socket until the spring-actuated bolt is on top. The bipod now goes into position. See that the bipod legs are parallel to the line of the forward edge of the base plate. Now open the mortar barrel clamp. Set the elevation so that 1/3 of the elevating screw shows above its tube, and place the barrel inside the clamp between the 2 position marks. The sight fits on this base. It will generally be part of captured mortar equipment. Here is the 7 3/4 pound shell, Model 34, a conventional type with a percussion fuse. There are 4 charges giving muzzle velocities of 246, 344, 427, and 499 feet per second. One type of precaution should be given. When the shell is dropped into the barrel, all members of the crew should lie flat on the ground. Set in the ball-shaped section of the breech is the safety catch. When a misfire occurs, press the bolt in and turn in a clockwise direction until the letter S is reached. Loosen the clamp, rotate the tube 90 degrees, then fasten the tube clamp. Now gently raise the tube and let the shell slide out into the hand. Instructions for determining the direction of fire, elevation, and making corrections for the 81mm heavy mortar are contained in the U.S. Army publications. A few moments spent studying these instructions might someday repay you 1,000-fold. These weapons have been presented as ones being most likely to be found and put into operation. Now you will hear some of them actually firing. Hearing the report of some of these guns will probably give you your first clue as to their location in the field. So your part in this film is to look, to listen, and try to remember. The main problem is to remove that barrier by science, skill, and knowledge. If further study is desired, the Army places at your disposal numerous publications covering all phases of this subject.